this sketchbook, which, in fun facts, is the first sketchbook where I learned how to create comic books. Yeah, stick around as we see. Oh, less drawings. Yeah, I guess I got the drift. Sketchbook, dots, and then boom, started making panels, started learning perspective better than I could ever have done in an art class, and boom, there's that. Anyways, story time. This is kind of the mini sketchbooks that I would end up having when I got into college. Most significant thing about this series of sketchbooks, besides the fact that they're very small, is that this is when I started my whole process of creating comics. You know, I'm just always drawing and stuff, but around that process, that time, I just was like, okay, well, let me start connecting dots, and we'll get to that point in a second. In fact, my mind process when creating art is that the art that I create in that moment stays in that moment, which is why I don't even like just a lot of writing. And I hate writing, and I hate just like, I hate writing just long stuff. It's just a lot of just stories that never saw the light of day. Either way, that is this. So, in fact, he's supposed to be standing up. Yeah, there it goes. And here's Goku. And this takes place back in 2019. I got this from an art teacher. No, he was a history teacher. He was extremely racist, by the way. If you want to, I don't know if you're the kind of person that believes that even white people can also experience racism, but let's just say that he wasn't so kindly to those Caucasian people in our class. He was Mexican, by the way. He thought that I was gonna be your average, typical student athlete who's like a jock and stuff. But once I made it known that I am an artist and that I actually like the finer things in life, he actually ended up giving me a sketchbook, and he liked my personality a lot. This is a lot of stick figure drawing, but that's because during the time I was drawing in this, I was also drawing in this. Yeah, more Spirited Away. Lovely. We'll get to that in a second. This is me just practicing not to draw well, but to draw with the purpose and intention of action, and action alone. Making it look nice is in a completely different realm, and you don't get a lot of other drawings when you draw something extremely nice and put all your energy into something nice. As long as you watch the video all the way through. No, I'm joking. Anyways, boom. What? And I was like, okay, cool. Just got a new sketchbook. I'm chilling. I'm just drawing. But yeah, I'm just drawing in it, doing my thing. And then I turn the page. I'm like, okay, this is normal. This is normal. And then I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. What's up with all the grading and stuff? Like, that's kind of strange. And then I just keep turning this freaking book. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just draw on these. It's like a line work anyways. And then I ended up finding out that this book had dots, and I was like, oh crap, like what the freak? What am I supposed to do with this? But then I drew Rontu right here, and then I started connecting dots. And then I connected more dots, and then I got panel work, and then I finally worked my way to this part of the drawing, and I just kept going. And with that, the rest is history. And then I ended up drawing more comic book kind of stuff. Yeah, pages like this where it's like, oh, the whole point of this shot is supposed to show just where they are, not exactly to look visually stimulating, because you have a bunch of other stuff that pretty much answers the questions of what these characters look like. And effort is the key. Like, you know, you want to control the amount of effort that you use when you draw stuff. See, a lot of perspective work, but yeah, and me trying to get to it with creating comics, it's literally a process where I go that, and I just continuously do that, and then I just let things end up the way that they can be. And here we have more, and here's Maurice looking slick. And yes, my characters have a bunch of different designs. You'll see it in the Fruits of Labor series, but yeah, they have like so many different designs throughout the years because there's just so many things that inspire me, so I just cram them into my characters, and it looks amazing to me. Definitely behind here, but you know, it eventually ended up into something. You just got to get through all the crappy drawings. I don't even know if that's mine, so that's kind of mean problems. Oh yeah, more of that. I was really practicing. I was really just getting at it and stuff like that with this stuff. And then you can see that sometimes I just kind of break from the formula because I just want to draw. Like, I just want to make something random, you know? And then here's one with Higuchi. It's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna ever read these to you or anything like that, because that would just break the pace. But we can just look at the artwork and see like the awesomeness and stuff like that. Kind of cool. And then that actually goes all the way into here. Explosion happens after the cut. Okay, here's I guess Higuchi punching Donald Trump in the face. Wow, how original. But it's pretty funny. And here's more comic. Here's a one where Rontu actually had the ability to have the chop chop fruit, where his body parts just detach. And that was kind of just it. And then Maurice had the ability of Luffy, where he can stretch. And this was the first time where I was able to actually see my characters, how they interacted with each other, their personalities and all that stuff. This is, of course, before they even had noses. But this was actually new for me. I didn't know how my characters related to each other, because a lot of the times I was just drawing them. I never drew them like talking to each other, hugging each other, or anything like that. So the freedom that I was able to do with comics really kind of like created that personality for me within my art. So that was one of the fun things. And this is actually one of the first couple of pages, it's going to be, where I almost ended up getting the idea for the comic itself. I have a giant whale that actually like helped them on their travels. I never ended up drawing it because I never felt like drawing it. Simple ideas like this, making that thing. Just crazy stuff, right? Like all my characters are technically in there, but they're just so scattered. And the whole goal of that comic was to make sure that they meet each other again. And you can see all the planet stuff. Like this is the way the planets worked. You don't understand any, like you don't see any of this in the thing, but this is just always what's in my head about how my world works, but you never see it. Like this is like a thing that's also kind of inspired from the creator of JoJo. Like he'll write certain things about his characters that you might not ever see, but those things are always canonical. And if, you know, it comes up in the comic, you won't be blink-minded and you'll actually do it. So yeah, more Maurice, more Madison, me just drawing my characters and stuff like that. So this is like a chibi form of their older designs. There's Madison, and it's kind of scary. Ooh, here's Maurice with spiky hair. There's Higuchi with a whole new different design. I guess more information on Higuchi later, but you know, like, I guess, well, either way, she, what is it? She's like my dream interpretation of a blonde atomic girl. I don't know. This was a random one. I think this is like my super form. When I got into Dragon Ball Z, I was like super big on that stuff, and my super form in a Dragon Ball Z game was having blue hair. Either way, oh yeah, this character. This is Cody. He's actually in the comic, but he takes on a less significant role. And this is a character that's more inspired from gorillas. That's this whole thing. Here's Charles Lee Ray. Who the frick drew him dead? This character who's more inspired from Gigan, from Godzilla. Yeah, I love this character and I'm always gonna have it. And yes, it is inspired from it and I'm just gonna steal. Here's Valiant, a character who actually is the first design for Rontu back in the day, and he actually had these shoes where they're just basically air shoes. More air shoes than Shadow. Shadows looks like they're like fire shoes, but this was Rontu's first design, so I just made it into a separate character. Oh, here's Rontu's essential like anti-hero. You always gotta have one, but I guess it was just nonsensical for me to have these parts just unleashed. Actually, this hasn't been opened in some time now. Like, I think, well, you know, some parts of my sketchbook, I don't know. There's always a mindset behind it, so let's try and open it. Oh, interesting enough. Okay, more Rontu. His different designs over the years and stuff like that. But yeah, here's Madison, her designs over time and stuff like that. And actually, oh, how interesting. I can't believe I had this locked up forever. Okay, so here's some ideas for how I wanted to do a certain segment of my YouTube channel when it comes to films. This actually did end up happening. This is on my Mr. Flipper Jack channel. I'll probably upload some of those onto the Tree Hobby channel just for old time's sake, but it was a lot of just figuring out this graphic novel style that I had planned. Boom! We have what is essentially my first comic basically outlined. So this is the first time that I've actually outlined it and stuff. So we have, yeah, let's get more context. So I guess Madison is kind of just praying to the gods or something. No, she's like meditating and she sees a bunch of evildoers. And then someone touches her hand and then she punches and then turns out it was Rontu. You can see that this is more drawing based. Like it's more storyboard driven than really written. But either way, there's like, I think there's like this competition or something, and then Higuchi was a part of it, so everybody's getting excited. So here's Madison, here's Rontu, we all live in the same house, there's me. And then, you know, we're like, oh yeah, what's going on the radio? Not the television, but the radio. And then you can see that there's this cool scene where Higuchi's facing off against this black noir dude. And then Madison's like, yeah, go. And then I'm like, what? And then she's like, yeah. And then I don't know, some other stuff, you guys can read it. It's not really 100% canonical. But either way, me focusing on more action scenes. So we have Higuchi fighting off this dude who has the barrier fruit. That's interesting. Me just totally, I've already used up a lot of energy just explaining this stuff. So a lot of this, I mean, because a lot of this stuff is just interesting. And here's one where I have Madison fully aged up, and it's more of a comic in that sense, and it's leading somewhere, maybe not. Really, pretty much not, actually. Yeah, this is actually one of the weird scenes that probably could be a viral video. Hello, freedom? It's so weird, I don't know. Rontu being a hero, what the heck? Oh, right, I remember this. Dude, there's so much more content in here than I thought. Okay, either way, this is just, you know, there's no words to express what's going on in here. I just wanted to make the best kind of comic that I could. That's literally the mindset here. But yeah, you guys can totally pause and look at each thing as it happens. Uh-oh, he did a middle finger. That's not culture. A lot more stickers, as you can see. But we do have Rontu basically in his first incarnation because I wanted something simple and easy to do. It's basically him with his powers, and he can fly, and he's basically a Powerpuff Girl, and there's these other guys, and they're like, dude, who the freak are you? Oh wait, that doesn't happen yet. This is actually Madison first. And this is supposedly where they first meet. Makes no sense. They're brother and sister, so what the fudge? Anyways, so Rontu's upside down and Madison's up right side up, and it's like, yo, I'll help this dude. And then this is chapter 1, apparently. So this is actually kind of interesting. The story continues, but my ability to outline it lessens way more and more. I drew a little background, so it establishes a background shot, and then you can imagine that for every other scene. But yeah, it just keeps going. So I mean, again, if you want to pause it and see like and read it for yourself, then that's cool, right? Because there's just a lot of stuff here, bro. A lot of ideas that kind of take precedent within the present day, but not so much. Here's the first one that was outlined. It actually has like a whole, you know, a story that is more condensed. This one actually, you know, same thing. You can just read it as I go. This one took a while. This was outlined as well, so that's why it's on each and every page and it's not on the back. So I don't have anything here. It was like getting even better and better, and I was putting more time and effort into it. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so Rontu, Madison, Maurice. Oh, yes. Oh my god. So, you know, sometimes you got a lot of pent up anger and stuff, so you just put it into a comic. This one took a long time. This is a lot of perspective shots. This is basically one with Higuchi when she's apparently younger and stuff like that. And it's basically the whole scene with Luffy and Ace and stuff. And instead of Ace, it's like literally the Sonic Unleashed look-alike. And he's got his whole ragtag group of other animal characters. I was inspired from Rango when making this, but you can see there's a perspective shot here, perspective shot here. That's not perspective, that's just line work. But yeah, you get a lot of that kind of scene and stuff like that. Here's another perspective shot. Just a whole lot is just poured into this whole entire thing. Who knows if I will make this into an actual thing? I could. Definitely with the version of Sonic I have in Fruits of Labor, that's for sure. Just very interesting. Like, just pouring a bunch of freaking effort. Here's Higuchi like, you didn't do it, Shanks. Either way. And here's another perspective shot. Just crazy, right? And the fact that the story just continues in its own way. I wanted to copy it verbatim because I wanted to practice. I didn't care about if it was original or not. I just wanted to practice the ability of creating stories in the ways that I knew, you know, people who are way amongst my skills were totally equipped for. But yeah, good perspective shot, this one too. That one is a little iffy because I didn't really put any detail into the buildings like I did with these ones. But you can tell that I'm starting to wane in my process of creating this. This is And again, this isn't because I'm trying to make something that stand out and is going to shock the world. I literally created this comic for the intention of practicing my skills, stuff like that. And I was going to continue it, but I stopped it because I got bored. And I was like, I basically got what I needed out of this comic. So boom, I was done. And here you have them so much older and stuff. This could literally be like, I don't know, just a story in itself. But here's Higuchi just way older, going up against this mentor figure, and who knows who's in the wrong. I just wanted to write a scene that was just like One Piece Film Z, because that's one of my favorite, scratch that, my favorite One Piece movie. And if it's not yours, and you hate me for it, then freaking bite me. Scenes compared to that and stuff, and I guess that's where Higuchi's like, oh, I need that freaking cowboy hat. It shows me the way. So here's this. I will go by this in scene. So she jumps on the ground. It's like, I'll get you. And then he has a mechanical arm, because of course he does. And then Higuchi's like, I'm going to fight you. And that's not what she says. But either way, they're both getting ready. Here's the action scene. And it's just nothing but unbridled action. And that's what I'm good at. She skirts all the way into the freaking, you know, into the wall. And then she holds the wall with her hand, stopping her, and she's getting ready to fight. And the guy, for some reason, like, hesitates, and then boom, knocks him in to kiss her. And then she's like, yeah, and then boom, boom. And I messed this whole panel. She's basically punching repeatedly. One last punch, boom. And then he just, you know, uses his arm to blast it away. And then Higuchi uses some weird second gear technique. Look, she's using second gear, holy crap. And then they both go at it, and it's going from one panel to the next on who's gonna make that final punch. And then they both punch each other, and then boom, giant explosion. That's what this is supposed to be, giant explosion. Either way, the hat just starts flying, she gets blasted, she's no chance against this guy. This is literally her mentor and stuff. And so, yeah, he's like, that's the power of the glove, bro. And then she gets, you know, and then she's talking more smack. She smacks the wall, and then she comes back at it again with another punch. Goes close into the eye, and boom. Okay.